The Seattle Mariners still have the hearts beating. A come from behind walk-off win tonight for the Mariners. Arozarena, the hero tonight, and the City Connects continue to be money for the Seattle Mariners. What is up? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back and welcome into the Seattle Mariners post-game recap. Mariners defeat the Rangers 5-4. They improved to 76 and 73 on the season. 4.5 back in the AL West. 2.5 now back in the wild card. So becoming very interesting. I can't get this right because a few days ago I told you guys, wild card's probably not going to happen. Too many teams. You're closer in the division. And that still holds true. Well, you're not close in the division, but you don't have to leapfrog anybody. You probably have the tiebreaker against Houston and you play them 3 more times. So that does still ring true. But now Minnesota continues to struggle and you're 2.5 back there. Boston's tailed off a little bit. You're tied with Detroit. Now you don't have the tiebreaker with Detroit or Minnesota. It's going to make it tougher. But Minnesota's schedule is pretty tough down the stretch here. So listen, 2 avenues, right? And again, I will reiterate, when we were sitting here in June, this is not where we wanted this team to be. This organization still has a lot of issues. I've talked about ownership, front office, etc. But you do have 2 avenues to get in. We've got 2 weeks left in the baseball season, and these games matter for the Seattle Mariners. So for right now, that's going to be my focus. Let's hope they can find a way here, sneak into that last wild card. You never know, right? This team has the pitching that can hold up against any lineup in baseball. If they get in, they're going to be playing well. They're going to be hot. So you hope that could carry over momentum-wise. And the offense been swinging the bat much, much better as of late. Even today, 5 runs, and it felt like it could have been more. Also good to see this team start to stack wins together, winning back-to-back. That's kind of been the issue a little bit. Even though they've played much better since that Oakland series, they're still not stacking a lot of wins. And that's truly what they're going to have to do if they are going to make a run here. I mean, they're making a little run, but to really get in there and get this thing rolling, they're going to have to, I still think, rattle off 5, 6 in a row at one point. And maybe this is it. Listen, this team can probably only afford to lose 3 or 4 more games. Let's be honest, right? Like, that's probably where they're at. I don't know. We'll see what Minnesota does, Detroit. I don't know, but you're probably looking at something. How many games are left now? 76, 73, 13. I think you got to go 10-3 to give yourself a legitimate chance here down the stretch. I do think they're capable of doing it. I felt they're capable of doing it all season. They've been beyond frustrating, but maybe this is just their best stretch has been saved for the end of the season. So, you feel good that you can win George Kirby versus Haney tomorrow. Kirby hasn't been great, but you still hope, he's a good pitcher. You hope he can rebound and have a big outing tomorrow. Yankees are going to be tough coming into town, but it is what it is. You just got to play who's there and hope you can find a way to keep getting some wins and hope that the other teams fall. And, in terms of the division, still holds true, getting to Houston 3 back and go from there. As far as on the field tonight, good to see the team, the resiliency tonight. They get down 2-1, they tie it 2-2, or actually they go up 1-0, go down 2-1, tie it, go down 4-2, and to keep battling back was impressive. Even within the game, 7th, 8th inning, they had opportunities to take the lead there, couldn't do it. Bullpen does its job at the back end, holds up, and the offense, good job. Keep putting those base runners on, right? Eventually, good things will happen. Put the ball in play. Randy Arozarena's at bat, a great example of that in the 9th inning. Put the ball in play and good things can happen. Hit the ball hard, right? It was on the ground, but, even if Smith makes that play, you're not turning 2 on that ball. So, good to see the team making better contact, having better at-bats. Victor Robles continues to be huge. I thought Cal's at-bat in the 9th inning was really good. I imagine it's tough when you're up in those spots. You want to be the hero. You want to be the guy to walk it off. So to spit on those pitches, I think after getting down 0-2 was really impressive. I got to say, and the Mariners sir mentioned it to me on Twitter, but it's just the Rangers had like 1,000 mound visits tonight. Am I crazy? Or was Mike Maddox out there like every inning? I don't know. Maybe it just seemed like it, but I feel like the Rangers had extra mound visits tonight. I could be wrong on that, but it's kind of funny. They win the DeGrom Scherzer games. We talked about being a little nervous about that, but them being on pitch counts, I talked about it in one of my post games where at first I was frustrated by it, but I was kind of like, well, they're not going to throw more than 60, 70 pitches. So you're looking at almost bullpen games regardless, and it's paid off for the Mariners. They didn't do great against DeGrom yesterday. Scherzer was not quite as good as DeGrom, but, was good enough. But then you get into the bullpen, you're able to scrap out a few runs. And now the Rangers bullpen is probably a little depleted for tomorrow. Now, Andrew Haney's a guy that can throw, 140 pitches. So probably not a big deal for them behind Haney. But the Mariners had success against Haney as well. So hopefully they can continue that, win this series, and continue to stack up the W's. Let's take a look at the box score for the Mariners tonight. Logan Gilbert, 6 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned, 1 walk, 7 Ks, gave up the 2 home runs. I like Dan sending Logan out there for the 6th. That's a spot where I think Scott normally takes him out. I think he was at 90, 91 pitches, allowed Logan to go back out there for the 6th. Logan threw 97 total. For a couple reasons, I liked it. One, your pen's a little bit thin. Chagua probably not available tonight. Voth might not have been available. Munoz pitched last night, so you're trying to be a little careful there. So I like it from that aspect. And I like it for Logan, right? Like, was this his best outing? No, the home runs were frustrating. I will say the Semien home run was, I never want to call any home run lucky, but it was like 92 exit velo. It wasn't hit super hard. It just kind of got out. I'm going to be honest, I didn't see the Taveras home run. I'm not sure what the exit velo was on it. The 5 hardest hit balls tonight by the Mariners in the game were all by the Mariners. So let's see if I can find Taveras'. 103. So it was out in every ballpark. So it was hit legitimately well. And I'm not saying Simeon's wasn't, but you know what I mean. Anyways, I think sending Logan back out there gets through that 6. It takes an outing that was frustrating, not good, and turns it into, you can at least leave with a little bit of positive. The team tied it back up. Logan goes back out there, gets the 3 outs. It shows Logan that your manager has faith in you, even when you're not at your best, to get 3 more outs in that situation there. And he did it, right? 1, 2, 3. The home runs were frustrating. Not Logan's best outing of the year by far. But when you don't have your best stuff, you got to battle. And I thought Logan did that. I think getting through that 6th inning was huge and gave the team a chance to get a W tonight, and they found a way. It's nice to see. We've seen it more the last few weeks, the offense picking up the pitching a little bit. I do think it is funny that Wu and Miller have been the 2 guys that have really stood up the most. And, Castillo's hurt, not his fault or anything like that, but Castillo gets hurt. Kirby's been struggling. Logan's been good, but there's been a little bit more up and down from Logan the last month. But Wu and Miller have been the guys that just been lights out. So go figure baseball. But again, not Logan's best stuff, but I think a solid outing. And again, I like sending him back out there for the 6th. Thought that was a good call by Dan. Troy Taylor continues to be outstanding. Shutout 7th inning with 2 strikeouts. Again, repeating myself, but the bullpen's banged up. We go back to the beginning of the year. Brash, Santos, and now Garcia. Gabe Spire essentially has been out all year for the most part. So you need someone to step up. And every year you're going to need that in bullpens, right? Bullpens are volatile. They can be lights out one year and blech, the next. It happens. Relief pitching is small sample sizes, hard throwers, injuries, all sorts of things. Someone needed to step up, and Troy Taylor, we've already talked a lot about Colin Snyder. Troy Taylor has been one of those guys who's absolutely stepped up for the team. And again, another guy that's going to be a big part. If they make a run and get in, Troy Taylor is absolutely going to be one of those sneaky reasons this team made a run. Nice inning from Snyder. Had a rough outing his last time out, so good to see him bounce back. And a nice clean 9th from Munoz. Munoz throws 11 pitches. I think only threw 8 yesterday. You have an off day Monday. If he can go tomorrow, you go to him. I mean, if it's needed, obviously. This is the time in the season when it's all hands on deck. So I think Munoz can pitch tomorrow. We'll see. You're too late in the season. Obviously, again, you're not trying to, if guys are hurt, banged up, you still want to be careful. But if he's 75%, I'm sorry, dude, we don't want to risk anything long-term, but you got to be out there. So I think Munoz will be available tomorrow, and Snyder, especially with the off day on Monday for the Mariners. So great job by the bullpen today. 3 innings, only allowing 1 hit, not letting the Rangers get that run back. Offensively for the Mariners, 10 hits, 5 runs, 6 walks. Nice offensive day. They definitely left some runners on base. That ground ball, the Rosarena double play in the 7th was frustrating. Redeems himself in the 9th, but that was, pulling your hair out type moment. They had an opportunity. 8th, couldn't get it done. But you keep putting base runners on and good things will happen. The team has done that much, much better here with Edgar as hitting coach and Dan as a manager. So I think them keeping it simple for the guys has really, really paid off. I think sometimes, I know a couple people have commented this, and I agree 100%, that almost gotten too analytics. Listen, I think front offices should look at analytics. I look at analytics. When you're evaluating a player performance, you should look at analytics. But when you're coaching, I think you need to keep it simple, right? I think the players don't need to worry about all the launch angle stuff. They just got to go out there, see baseball, hit baseball. I'm not saying they can't look at the other stuff, but I think Edgar and Dan are keeping this more simple. You listen to some of the Brant Brown interviews. Super smart guy, but you can tell very detail-oriented to the point where I think it got in their heads a little bit. I think Edgar's a guy that, one, just commands respect for his success in the big leagues, number one. And number two, I think he's probably someone who just keeps it simple with the guys. Could just be sample size. It could just be that, it's just a little stretch and they're playing good baseball, but the approach looks a lot better from this team. And they've been doing against some decent pitching as well. Victor Robles, 2 for 5 with 2 doubles and 2 clutch stolen bases. Man, I cannot say enough good things about Victor Robles. What a player. And listen, I said it once a few months back. I feel like I talk about Robles every night. This guy was a legitimate top prospect. He was ranked higher than Juan Soto in the national system. Not saying he's Juan Soto, but it's not crazy that Victor Robles is good. It is not. Sometimes players bloom a little bit later. There is a reason he was a highly touted prospect at one point. There was a reason for it. I'm not saying guys that are picked in the 80th round can't be good. I'm not saying guys picked number 1 overall in a draft or ranked number 1 prospect-wise are always guaranteed to be good. But there is a reason guys get those rankings. So, I mean, maybe this is just all for real with Robles. I definitely think he is for real, right? Like, I think at worst, you're looking at a platoon outfielder, 4th outfielder, worst case scenario. Best case, you've got an everyday player that plays good in defense, makes things happen on the base pass, and is a legitimate hitter with a little bit of pop as well. So, nice game for Robles. Julio continues back-to-back really good games from him. 2 for 4 at the solo home run. A base hit and a walk. It was intentional, but hey, it counts, right? His at-bat, I think in the 7th was a little frustrating that he struck out against, I think Leiter struck him out. But other than that, I mean, 2 great games from Julio back-to-back. OPS up to 711. I've talked about it a lot. This team wants to go somewhere. Julio's got to be a big part of it, and he has been for sure the last couple nights. And truly, even on the road trip, swinging the bat better. So Julio's been hot. Need to keep it up. Got to keep it up. Rest of the way. Nice game from Julio. Cal 0 for 1 with 4 walks. Career high in walks for Cal. Good to see. Randy was 1 for 5 with an RBI, but man, it was a big one and it won the game. Cool moment. You could see, the guys getting on Randy at the end there. Really cool moment for him. Listen, when guys can come over, I think sometimes to new teams, they can press a little bit. They want to show to the new team that, hey, your investment in me was worth it. You want the fans to see it. It's been up and down for Randy, right? Like, it really has been. There's been some really good moments. There's been a lot of frustrating moments. Just good to see, regardless of, Smith should have made the play, whatever. Like, it's a nice moment for Randy. Good to see him getting mobbed by the guys and having fun out there. And hopefully that gets Randy going for a hot streak down the stretch here as well. Luke Raley 1 for 4 with a 2-run home run, a career high, 20 home runs for Luke. RBIs up to 54 in the year. He continues to be solid. Justin Turner 2 for 4 with a double and a base hit. Again, Turner just quietly really swinging the bat well. Almost had a Turner, and we almost had our first Dan Wilson ejection on that terrible strike 3 call. Turner was letting the ump have it. I have a feeling if Turner was a first-year guy, he would have been tossed there. I think being in the league as long as Justin Turner has bought him a little bit of leeway there. I think Dan wanted to get tossed there. I think he was kind of finding, I was kind of reading the ump's lips, and I think he was saying, I know that I missed it. And I think he gave Dan and Turner a little bit more leeway on the argument. But I think Dan kind of wanted to be tossed. He had that manager look because he kept going with it. And managers, right? Like there's sometimes the goal to get tossed to fire up the troops a little bit. They'll even tell you talk to some of these guys years later and they go, hey, I knew that call was correct. I just wanted to get my team, know that I had their back. So I think Dan wanted to get tossed there, but it would have been cool to see. We still haven't seen the Dan the man be ejected yet. Dylan Moore pinch ran for Turner. Polanco 1 for 4. I wouldn't mind seeing Leo Rivas get some at-bats still. I get it. Polanco's the veteran. Like you trust that, a career solid hitter is going to finish strong, but still wouldn't mind Rivas getting more at-bats than he's had. JP 0 for 3 with a walk. Rojas 1 for 3 with a base hit and the RBI sac fly. How about that play Josh Rojas made was it in the 9th inning? Yeah, it was the first at-bat in the 9th inning. I'll say this, Rojas's bat has certainly cooled off since April, but my gosh, has he been worth it on defense. One of the best defensive third basemen in baseball. Perry Hill working his magic. I think Rojas has still been like a 3-win player or something by FWAR. Don't quote me on that, but he's still been valuable. Defense matters. You got to make plays behind the guys as well. So, like, Rojas should still be playing. His defense has been good enough. You still want him out there as much as possible. And listen, the bat's not good, but he's capable of a base hit here and there, capable of getting that runner in. So it's not like he's 0 with the bat. It's definitely not a 10. If it's on a 0 to 10 scale, it's probably a 3. But with the defense, I think it's worth it to play him out there. So great play by Rojas, in that ninth inning, and that gets the team going, pumped up. So good to see. Nice win. Nice win for the Mariners. A fun game. Keep it going, right? Like, crazier things have happened. And every team in baseball outside of maybe the White Sox is capable of a winning 10 out of 11, 9 out of 10. The Mariners have the pitching to do it. The bats have been better. The back end of the bullpen, a little dicey, but Taylor stepping up. Snyder's been good. Still got Munoz back there. Feel pretty good about that it can at least, you're going to lock down some of these games. Chagoua's been good. You got a shot, right? Like there is a chance to do this. And this team has one streak in them. One. We haven't seen like that really amazing streak. One. Keep it going. You've won 2 in a row. Make this the start of it. Find a way to get in. Let's celebrate some playoffs. You never know. You never know. Listen, logically, it's still a tough path, right? I know that. But the hearts are still beating. You still got a chance. 2 weeks left. There are teams that would love to be in the Mariners' position. There's fan bases that would love to be in the Mariners' position. Not trying to make excuses. This is not where this team should be, I think, after 2 years removed from the playoff spot. But that's something we'll worry about when the season ends. So have a great night, everybody. Enjoy your Saturday. Go Mariners tomorrow. Go Hawks tomorrow. My post game will be up much later tomorrow. I'll spend the day watching NFL football with the fam and some friends. So the post game will be up tomorrow night for you all. Channel members, Monday I'll have my next video in my top 10 baseball movie segment, so be ready for that. Like, comment, subscribe on the video, and as always, go Mariners. Peace.